God raises up his people to accomplish his purposes in the earth. It is Hope Today. We're so glad that you're with us on this Friday. I'm Anna Schmidt, and I am here with Angela. And Angela, we've got such a packed show today.
We really do. I'm excited to dive into both of our guests. You know, one revelation given by God to you can spark a revolution in the hearts of others and can even ignite a movement around the world. Today's guest, Kyle Portbury, is the director and producer of a new Christian film that hopes to demonstrate just that. In his movie, The Hopeful, it is coming to select theaters April 17th. Anna, from this movie to the guest that you're going to get to sit with here in studio, let's hear some more.
I know, we've got a lot of good stuff. We're also going to hear about a new documentary that focuses on the life, leadership, and faith of Pennsylvania's founder, William Penn. Abby Abildness, the executive producer of Penn Seed, The Awakening, will join us here in the studio to share her passion behind this story and what people can expect when they watch. So Angela, this is like two films about real life people who were strong in their faith, that got a revelation from the Lord and did some cool things.
Yeah, it's powerful that both of these are going to be on today because it's this big monumental moments and historical moments that were actually started in the hearts of men and women. Plus, later in the program, we're going to reveal the winner of the $45 gift card to commemorate Cornerstone Television's 45th anniversary. That's right. On yesterday's program, we had a Stump the Viewer Bible trivia question for everyone. One person who guessed correctly was randomly selected to win the gift card. And not only that, but everyone who participated and guessed correctly will receive a special gift.
Oh, I love Stump the Viewer.
Me too.
Yeah. That way it takes the spotlight off of us and puts it on you a little bit. And so we hope that you did participate and get on the website and try to guess the answer to see if you could get it right. And like how cool we get to give away $45 today.
I love that we are doing that because it is. It's fun to be challenged in our Bible trivia and also to like just connect more at home with you here.
Yeah.
It's like going through the television.
That's true. That's true, because we like to connect with you.
That's right. Now listen, let's take a moment to check out this phenomenal trailer for the upcoming movie, The Hopeful.
Obey his word and believe. There is no time for delay.
I believe the Bible is clear. Jesus will return in but 4 short years.
I come before you today to tell you that I have been shown in vision.
Father Miller's message was light. The Advent people were traveling on a path toward a bright and holy city.
This is not the first time the end of the world has been prophesied by a fool, nor will it be the last. If you do not renounce these radical ideas, you will not be welcome here in this house of worship.
This was only the beginning of our journey.
Her visions do not come from God. But my friends, she speaks with great tenderness of the word of the Lord.
The Holy Spirit encouraged our Advent hope. There were people who didn't listen and they fell off the path.
I really believe this doctrine which you preach. I was lost, and now I'm found.
We must follow the word of God over the rule of men. We feel love, the love of Jesus. It lifts us up, it carries us forward. And it will guide us home.
For you.
Kyle Portbury, director and producer of The Hopeful, joins us now. Welcome to Hope Today.
Hey, thanks for having me, Angela and Anna. Lovely to be here.
We are so thankful to have you, and we want to dive into what you have directed and produced for us. So Kyle, take a few minutes and share with us a little bit about your movie and why you feel this message is important today.
Well, I think that message of hope and healing that comes across, in The Hopeful, is it's kind of a bit unique at the moment, right? Particularly in cinema, there's a lot of dark and fairly like, we look around the world and the world's not a great place at the moment. There's a lot of fear and uncertainty out there, and I think it's lovely to be able to bring something to cinema that actually adds a positive note to that, right? So despite those things and despite those fears and despite that negativity, there's an opportunity for you to bring that hope and healing into your own community and your own sphere of influence, just like these guys did. It's great that just listening to the trailer, then, so the song Made for You, which is one of the two original songs in the film, Jonas Myron, who wrote 10,000 Reasons and Cornerstone with Matt Redman, and has written songs for Andrea Bocelli and Lauren Daigle and Celine Dion. That song is out now, so if you go to anywhere you stream your music, you can get that song. In fact, one version of that, there's two versions of it. One released a couple of days ago with the Stockholm Studio Orchestra, and then there's the main version that released today as well. So there's two great versions of that song that you can enjoy. And again, it's interesting because I think it was Barbie's Oscar-winning best song of last year that was awarded this year is a song that asks the question, "What was I made for?" And it's interesting. We only thought of this today, so it's a nice response to that when you can go, "I was made for you," right? It's that kind of, I guess, spirit and positivity that I think we need a little bit more of, and that's the beauty of cinema. I think when you can all go together, we were talking earlier, that it's one of the few films at the moment that the whole family can go and enjoy. Anyone from 5 to 95 plus can all go and enjoy cinema together, which is quite a rare experience in 2024. And I think that in and of itself is quite exciting and positive, and I think is going to be really beautiful for families to be able to go and have that discussion afterwards, right? Like they go and they see real people who were struggling with the same hopes and fears and disappointment and anticipation that they have in their life. And then they get to discuss that. Well, how do we persevere? How do we get through those moments where we anticipate something and then it doesn't quite pan out the way that we hoped that it would? And then we've got to work out a way through that to find that thing that we were anticipating in the first place that's now possibly a little bit different. So I think that's a really exciting conversation for families, particularly like if you've got kids and you want to talk about like how do you stick with something no matter how difficult it is, and also no matter how much people tell you that you should stop. That's one of the great things about this story is these people endured a lot of ridicule coming out the other side of that disappointment. And one thing I really enjoy about characters, particularly ones from an era like this, right? Like sometimes we can go, well, what relation could they have to me in 2024? But I think what's interesting, if you ever look at the way that the character of God is presented at the moment, in 2024, it's a very, the argument that they were kind of wrestling with is God judgmental? Is he vengeful? Is he just waiting to get you, right? Like this is what they were hearing, particularly in the pulpit from their day. And along came a different take on the character of Christ, which was, no, actually, he's hopeful and a bringer of healing. And it's no wonder that they gravitated towards that message. And I think in 2024, we kind of need, particularly as Christians, to be looking at how are we actually representing the character of Christ out into the community that we go into? Are we bringing a character of fear and prejudice to the community? Like if you don't get your act together, right, he's going to smite you, right? So you better get like shape up or get shipped out. Or should we be trying to present something a little bit different? Should we be trying to bring that, well, what can I do to bring hope and healing into my community and my little area of the world? And I think if I hoped one thing for audiences, particularly families walking out of the cinema on April 17 or 18, It's that they would feel that hope and that positivity that they could take into, even if it's just the people you went to the cinema with, right? Like how can I bring that hope and that positivity and that healing into my little part of the world? And as well, I think that's why it's lovely to collaborate with people that feel the same way. So, you know, you heard on the trailer. So trailer music's pretty, you know, our composer Blake does a lot of the trailer scores that you will hear for a lot of the Star Wars films and Marvel movies. And so being able to have someone of that caliber come along, this is his first feature score. And he's absolutely ecstatic, as is Jonas, who wrote the 2 original songs. Those 2 guys and myself got to really collaborate on how do you chart that musical journey, you know, of this world and these characters in a way that's going to really engage audiences and take you on that journey as well, so that, you know, you're sitting there and you're going, well, who would I be in this story? You know, where would I fit in this? Would I be one of the people who persevered? Would I be the hero? Would I be the villain? You know, would I be one of the people who was ridiculing them for staying with that course and sticking with it? So those are, I think those are all really beautiful questions, and why cinema, I think, is so important in this day and age. It's also the only place that we get to sit and reflect quietly without distraction.
Truly, I love that you are bringing to us a film that the whole family can enjoy, who will walk away with the true gospel, the good news, filled with hope, and seeing how history can be changed by one heart's revelation in God. Kyle, thank you so much for being with us. The Hopeful is in select theaters April 17th and 18th, and God bless you in all of your adventures.
Thank you both, Angela and Anna. It was a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Stay with us, because when we return in 60 seconds, we will announce the winner of yesterday's Stump the Viewer. Plus, we will be joined in studio by executive producer Abby Abildness to discuss her incredible new documentary about the life and faith of William Penn. We'll be right back.
God is calling you to do something significant in the earth for Him, regardless of your age, skill set, or perceived limitations. What's holding you back? When you give to support Cornerstone Television this month, let us bless you with Rick Renner's life-transforming book, Chosen by God. Every page will help you overcome your limited thinking and follow God's plan for your life. Rest assured, God has a plan, and He will thoroughly prepare you to fulfill it if you'll say yes with all your heart. This book will thrill you with the possibilities that await because you are chosen by God. Request your copy when you give by calling 888-665-4483 or donate online at ctvn.org/donate. Thank you for helping us spread the gospel through life-changing programming like Rick Renner, Hope Today, Hard Questions, and more. To keep your favorite programs coming and receive Chosen by God, donate today.
Welcome back to Hope Today. In case you missed it, yesterday we asked our Stump the Viewer question to you, the audience. Let's check out what the question was. All right. What is the name of the blind man Jesus healed in Jericho? A, Zechariah, B, Timaeus, C, Barabbas, or D, Bartimaeus? All right, Angela. Wait, can you put the ashes back? We're going to see if Angela can guess who it was.
I don't even think I need. I think it's Bartimaeus.
Oh, all right. So the correct answer is yes.
Yes, the little confetti flying.
Oh yeah, we need the confetti. The correct answer is D, Bartimaeus. It looks like 95% of you got it right. That's probably because you all Googled. I mean, that is amazing that 95% of you got it all right. Way to go. And let's find out who the winner is. Drum roll, please. All right, the winner is Miss Marilyn Safola. So congratulations, Marilyn. You are the winner of the $45 gift card to commemorate Cornerstone Television Network's 45th anniversary. Good job. Congrats to everyone who guessed correctly. You all will receive a special prize, and thank you to everyone who participated in Stump the Viewer. We will have more to come in the weeks to come. So, all right, well, we are excited to share with you the trailer for a fascinating new documentary called Penn's Seed, The Awakening. Following that, we'll sit down with the executive producer to hear her heart behind the story of William Penn and the legacy he's left for us. Take a look at the trailer.
Once in 100 lifetimes, someone steps onto the scene and changes the course of human history.
There's something about the fact that he's up there on City Hall, and yet he's a figure no one knows well.
There would be no liberty as we know it if it weren't for people like William Penn, who are shaped by the biblical ideal that men and women are made in the image of God.
When he was at Oxford University, a light came into the room, and he heard a voice that he believed was God speaking to him. And the voice said, "He shall build my city, and he shall set my captives free."
Penn's experience led him to see what was really needed was a safe haven for people.
So Pennsylvania was not just another colony. William Penn said that God might make this the seed of a nation, and he really meant the seed of world peace.
They were so amazed that Penn got this vision from God and saying, that's what we want to follow.
I truly believe that William Penn knew that we were indigenous to this land, that we were here first, and he respected our people for our knowledge of how we live.
I think William Penn still inspires us to understand the real significance of what it takes to make peace.
And in that, he was way ahead of his time.
We're thrilled to have the documentary's executive producer, Abby Abildness, live with us in the studio. She's here to tell us more about the life, leadership, and faith of William Penn and what we can expect after watching Penn's Seed, The Awakening. So, Abby, welcome to Hope Today.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here.
It's always so fun to have the guests right here with us. And all right, so William Penn. He is a man that I remember learning about in history class way back when I was in school. But to tell you the truth, I just don't remember a whole lot about this man who was so significant. So tell us, what drew you to be so fascinated with William Penn?
Well, thank you. You know, what you just said is a big part of why I wanted to produce the documentary, because a lot of people, they heard his name, they know he's the one that founded Pennsylvania, and that's about it. And students even tell me that I do tours of our Capitol, and ahead of time I say, you know, do you know about William Penn? Yes, we took a whole course. And then after the tour, they say, we didn't learn any of that. And so there's a message on the walls of our Capitol, literally in paintings, in the major areas of the Capitol, in the governor's reception room, in the House, the Senate, and the courtroom in Pennsylvania. And the messages have scriptures on them about the history and the legacy of William Penn. So I've been there for 20 years. I've been the Congressional Prayer Caucus State Director for Pennsylvania. And so as in that role, I've been praying with legislators along the way and talking about the history and the legacy of what Penn planted, which even many of our own legislators didn't know, even when it's on the walls. The art is there. It's like it's in plain sight, and people didn't realize. So Penn actually, he was from England, and he was under the reign of King Charles II. His father was Admiral Penn, who was best friends of Charles II, had given him some money for his campaign, and Admiral Penn sent William to go to Oxford University, Christ Church, to learn how to reign. That's where you would send country leaders to learn how to be in leadership. And so he's sitting there in his library, and he has a vision where a light comes into the room, and he hears a voice speaking to him. He believes it's God speaking to him. Nobody heard of that in those days, but the voice said to him, it spoke from Isaiah 45, "He shall build my city, and he shall set my captives free." And that was such a powerful experience for Penn, that he believed that God put his seal of divinity on him, and that God from there on started to give him revelation of how governance ought to be. And so he went out to the streets of London. He was preaching in the streets of London. He met George Fox, who was the founder of the Quakers, and he found the Quakers in the streets. Now, the Church of England was an Anglican church. Everyone was supposed to go to that church, and all these other believers of other faiths weren't supposed to congregate. So Penn ended up actually in prison. The jury came against him because they didn't want him. He's talking about another kingdom. The king didn't know, what kind of kingdom are you talking about? And he was threatened of what's going to happen to my kingdom. So Penn ends up in prison. There was so much persecution against believers of all different kinds of faith, including Jewish people, including, all kinds of denominations that we would know today, and the Quakers. And so Penn's sitting in prison, and he decides he's going to write a book, his most famous book, No Cross, No Crown. And he wrote about you should not be controlling the people from the crown. You should not use that leadership control, that leadership as control, but rather it should be by the humble way of the cross that serves the needs of the people. And so he's sitting in prison doing all this writing, and he ends up getting revelation, not just for a place that would be his promised land to establish what God was showing him is how governance ought to be, and it would be a peaceable kingdom. It would be a place where people would dwell together with the heart of God. And he wrote actually the preamble to Pennsylvania's Constitution, and then that was copied. It was not just copied, but a lot of the revelation was taken from that. When the U.S. Constitution was written, Ben Franklin went and consulted the natives that Penn had been working with, and to find out more about what was it that God showed of how governance should be. So you find Penn's words, if you know his words, you find them in our Constitution, you find them in a Charter of Liberties. Actually, our Liberty Bell was cast at the 50th year anniversary of Penn's Charter of Liberties for Pennsylvania. And so on the Liberty Bell, it says from Leviticus, proclaim liberty throughout all the land and to all the inhabitants thereof. There's a theme from Penn's first hearing from God that he would set the captives free. And he would show that liberty throughout all the land. So when he got this land grant from King Charles, because it wasn't working, he couldn't do what God called him to in England. So he gets this land grant, he comes to Pennsylvania, and he actually got the land grant included Delaware, included part of the 5 middle colonies. And so he's a founder of righteous governance that would give liberty and democracy to the people. And so this actually became the founding even of, in Switzerland, when they opened the League of Nations, he had written the history from Pennsylvania of, he called it the Holy Experiment. And I just want to tell you the quote. You can ask me another question. I just wanted to tell you the quote in our Capitol Rotunda in Harrisburg. It's written around the top of the Capitol Dome, Penn's words, over Pennsylvania. He said, my God will make it the holy seed of a nation. For the nations want a precedent that we would do the thing that's wise and just.
Yeah, that's wise and just. And so what's so fascinating is William Penn came into a land that was already inhabited, and through peaceful means, we were able to all live here on this land. And it said that this documentary will share lessons with us for today, for how to live peaceably instead of resolving through war, and how to heal generations of trauma and hurt. So in the last couple of minutes that we have, can you share a little bit about that?
Yeah, part of the model of that, Penn lived. He named Philadelphia the city of brotherly love. And that's one big thing. He wanted it to be, and of course from Philadelphia in the book of Revelation, and he wanted the people to live with God's love in their hearts and have that be governing their hearts, and then they would treat each other with God's love. And he even said we wouldn't need government if we would do that, if we would live as a holy example to others, if we would carry that. So we should live with that kind of people, but there's something that Penn heard a preacher say that changed his life, and that was, do you have the kind of faith that is overcome by the world? Or do you have a kind of faith that overcomes the world? And Penn decided when he heard that sermon, I'm going to have a faith that overcomes the world with God's love. That it would not be in anger trying to get the ways that a certain group would want their own way, but it would be a peaceable solution. So he had a peace treaty with the natives that he made the first peace treaty of love between nations, and that's a holy example to us.
Yeah, that's so fascinating. Okay. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I love this. I cannot wait to watch the documentary. Abby, thank you so much for being with us today. We are so appreciative of the message that you are bringing to us. And for you at home, today's theme is there is hope. You've got faith to endure to the end, and perhaps the revelation God's giving you with the little that you have in your hand. If you take it before the Father, you can watch a movement spread across your family and this world. God bless you. There's hope today.